I'm going to show my miter stand that I just got done making. My homemade miter stand or material support. I don't know. It took me 2.5 days to do this. Was it worth my time? The jury's still out on that. I'll have to use it for a few years and then see if it was just a waste of my time or see if it was a time saver. But let's walk around it and I'll give you an idea. I'm not going to print out a plan because I didn't have a plan. I just started making this. That's probably why it took me so long. Usually I like to sit and draw something up on the computer and then just build it. So I take all the head scratching out of the process. But this time I just had an idea and I started building it and it came out way different than what my idea was. So let's take a walk around. All right, so here's my miter stand. Here's how she turned out. And you can see I still have the DeWalt DW, I don't even know the model number anymore, 730 or something. I built it around that, okay? So here's how I started. Now you see, you'll recognize this if you have the same saw, the little arm thing or whatever. Well, that's irrelevant. So the very first thing I did was I made these profiles right here. See how this goes out and it's the same profile as this material support, because I thought originally, well, I'll just make this profile right here. I'll just make this profile. I'll cut these in really nice with a little tool I have. Just make that profile right there with the backstop, and I'll just hang it on the rails here. Well, I made a really pretty cut and everything. And once I just hung it on the rails, then didn't quite work because of gravity. So I started cutting these bigger just so I can get my adjustment, my in and out adjustment. But these were the very first pieces I cut. So I have one piece right on the end. And I have another one right there. You can't even see it now because it's all built in there. And then I have this one right here. So once you get that profile, once I got that profile, then I just started putting pieces on top of that. And the reason that these are like this is because when I swing over my miter saw to get that 60-degree angle, then my hand has somewhere to go. And here's how I fastened the table to my saw. The reason I fastened it to the saw is because I have a stop block over there. See my stop block right there? We'll talk about that more, but I didn't want these tables to move side to side away from the saw, because if I have my stop block set and the tables move, then my measurement changes. And then another thing right here is these little fences. So I didn't really make enough room for it to go all the way. See where it stops right there? You go all the way over. Because the reason I didn't do that is I almost never use the miter saw. I almost never tilt it on the bevel. I'm always leaving it at 0. So, if somebody else did something like this, just make sure that you have to go all the way over, because when you tilt that over on a bevel, then your saw is gonna cut that. But I'm never gonna do that. That's just not the style. I do mostly carpentry, rough carpentry, a little bit of trim work here and there. I'm not in a shop all day doing compound miter cuts. So I'm always leaving her at 0. I'm just, as long as she swings here, which now she swings, that's all I care about, so. What else was I going to tell you? Okay, so I made the little shelf right down here. And this is all removable. What happens is, I just got these little braces on. I'll just take the screws off. And then I take the shelves out. The shelves they're not nailed in, see that? They're just floating in there, but they won't go in or out. And This is really strong. I can jump up on here, sit on here if I have to. And so my little miter stop, that's just going to be clamped on right there. I just have to unloosen the clamps and then slide it, and then I can set it and I can cut as many boards as I want at that measurement. I think later, if I want to, I can take and I can cut a groove in here all the way down, and then I can set a piece in with an actual measuring tape glued on here. So I don't know if I want to do that though. Right now I don't want to do that, but I could do it. And what else do we have back here? I just put this piece up here on the 45, just so when the saw swings over, with the little dust bag on it, it'll have somewhere to go. I made a hole back here because you could see that down there. That's how I'm attaching my table to the saw itself. And what else can I tell you about this? I mean, see, I'm sitting here pushing on it side to side, and it's really not moving because it has, first of all, it's bolted to see that I bolted it to the saw, and then it has these pieces, and then also the legs, and it is adjustable. Let's take a look down here and see that top. I got it it's pretty dead on for as far as going across the top. It's not 100% machine shop perfect, but it's out of the way enough where I can still get a good cut. I just didn't want to be above the table I didn't want to be above I don't want to be above this right here. So I'm just a little bit below it right there. And right here, that's pretty much dead on, okay? So when I take it, if I need to adjust this right here, I could just take it and kick the table that way, a quarter of an inch or so. These legs right here, they let me kick it that way, and then the weight of it will hold it to wherever I kick it. So, I mean, it's cheap. The materials for this are less than $100. I probably used like 3 sheets of OSB max. Sheets right now are less than $12. And then a few 2x4s here and there, just ripped them down. It's all just glued together with liquid nails, and I put the little finished staples. I didn't take a lot of time going under and putting actual 2x4s under there. And it's strong. Let's jump up on it. You see how strong it is? So I'm walking on it right now, see? We haven't collapsed it. It's not what it's made for, but if I'm gonna build something, I need it to at least withstand my weight. At least something like this anyway. And what else? So at first I wasn't planning on putting the legs on, but I'm glad I did, because that was really what saved this project. At the end of the first day, since my idea didn't work with these end profile pieces. I mean, I'm not gonna say it didn't work, but it didn't work how I wanted it. When it was sagging, I was really disappointed. I wanted to cut it up and throw it away in the garbage, but I didn't do that. I just kept working at it and kept making it better. And now I like it. So there she is. If you want to do something like this, then I'm sure you'll have your own other ideas, and maybe you have a better way to do it. But the reason I just built it myself is because I was watching Spencer Lewis Finish Carpentry. That's a YouTube channel I follow. And he bought the separate aluminum wings. I guess you would call them I don't know what they are, but they just bolt to this stand, okay? They make a separate one. And it was a couple $100, and then the thing, it was like he ended up having to go and mess with his height on his miter saw. He had to undo these screws and put a few washers up to raise it up so that it would match his table. So I thought, well, I don't want to do that. If I'm going to waste time modifying somebody else's pre-built, I might as well just build my own. And so that's what I did, and it works out for me. So hope the video helps. The carpenter solution. I'm sure there's guys out there with hundreds and thousands of dollars worth of tools and equipment in their shop. They could build something and make this much prettier, put a smooth finish on it, blah, blah, blah. But that's not my priority right now. I just wanted it strong. I wanted it straight, and I wanted it movable. It is movable. It's going to take me a while to move it and break it down, but hope it helped. So go build something. Bye for now.